welcome back. So I'm doing a book haul today and I hope you're excited because I certainly am. So I have acquired quite some books over the past 20 days since the beginning of March until now, which is the 20th of March. And I got some ebooks, I got some physical books, and I paid for them all by myself with money that I have received or money that I earned myself. So let's get into it. I have already read some of these books. I'm in the middle of some of these books, or I have already finished some of these books. That is what I wanted to mention. Now let's get started on the book haul, but for real this time. I am starting off with the book that I am in the middle of. I am over halfway with, and that I actually started on the 2nd of March. So I still haven't finished it, and that isn't because the book isn't good, it's just because I decided to tab it. It's Heart of the Raven Prince by Tanya Odette, and it is actually a very good book, but I decided to tab it, like the stupid bitch I am, and write in it and all that shit, so now it takes me 2 minutes to read one single page, and that is a long time for me. So I've just not been enjoying the experience reading it, but I have enjoyed the book itself. So, this is a Cinderella retelling. It's about, it's fairies. So there is one fairy, there's a very funny scene with a raven, a fat raven in particular. So, it's about Cinderella. So obviously they go to a ball, they meet the prince, or Cinderella meets prince, she meets prince. So half-Fae Amber craves freedom from her conniving stepfamily. And then she meets the arrogant Prince Franco, and he leaves her humiliated and in fiery rage. Okay, but now a plot falls into her lap on how to evade her steaming stepmother. And she has to pretend to be someone that she is not. And in order to do that, she needs to be in contact with this Prince Franco. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's all very intriguing. Next book was the book that I bought at the same time that I bought Heart of the Raven Prince. So this came in the same order as Heart of the Raven Prince did. It's Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer. Did I pronounce that right? Yes, I did. So, whoa, that was a loud slap. This is a single mother trope, but the dad doesn't know that he is the dad, and he's a famous guy, so it's the famous and the not famous trope. And I think there are a lot of tropes in this that I will definitely really, really like. So, yeah, the single mother trope. It's about a young actor, Hollywood's newest heartthrob. He is struggling with fame as the star of the latest superhero franchise. Through scandal after scandal, addiction on top of addiction, a flurry of paparazzi hunt him as he fights to conquer his demons. And then she's a single mother with a 5-year-old daughter. And yeah, he's the dad. Oops! Mistakes were made. Well, probably not, because maybe it will end well, maybe it will not, but I know that it's gonna be a relationship between the mother and the father. So it's like a rekindling fire kind of situation going on here. Now, this book, I already read this also. I finished it also. Oops. And it is The Runaway King. This is the sequel to The False Prince. The False Prince is about a man hunting down kids to pretend to be the prince who has died in a pirate invasion kind of thing, I think, if I remember correctly. But now he wants to pretend that the prince is actually alive and stuff. And this is a sequel to that book. And this is about the Runaway King. This is basically what it says, the Runaway King. So it deals with some romance. Like, not really romance. It's very light. It's very not there, but it's also a little bit there. Like, I enjoy when there's something going on. Like, there's a fire sparking between these two characters, but no one is literally acting on it. They're just trying to protect each other in tough situations, and all that stuff. So it's very cute. It's very cutesy. This is I think it is a middle grade book. So it's very interesting. I really enjoyed this. 4 stars. Okay, take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this book. Dance of a Burning Sea by E.J. Mello. Take a moment to appreciate this stunning cover, because it is stunning. No one can convince me otherwise. because it is amazing. This is a story about dancers. It is a story about pirates. It's on sea. It's on a ship. So there are pirates. There's a romance. What more can you ask for? I did read the first book. Didn't really enjoy it. I think I gave 3.0 stars. So three stars. And it was okay, it was fine, but I wanted more action. I wanted more things to happen, but that just didn't happen because it is a very chill fantasy book. These are, I think, all of these, including the third book, are very chill fantasy reads. But I think if I'm in the mood for a chill fantasy read, I could pick this up and really enjoy this book. I'm terrified of this book. Honestly, I'm fucking terrified of The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So I actually wanted to pick up Babel first, but then I was kind of not convinced, but I had this mood going on. I have a lot of moods. And then I was in this mood where I needed this book. So I needed the book and I bought the book. And I haven't read it yet because now that I have it, I'm terrified to read because there are a lot of trigger warnings. There's a load of trigger warnings. There's a long list. But not those trigger warnings aren't like things that would really bother me, so I'm still capable of reading this book. Like, it wouldn't trigger me too much, but I'm sure this is gonna be a heavy read. This one, I will maybe take my time reading this one because yeah, it's supposed to be a very heavy read. There's a lot of war, there's a lot of triggers. Like I said, there's a lot of triggers, so I'm scared, I'm terrified, but think I will enjoy this. I guess, I hope, because the writing style did attract me. Like, the writing style is a huge aspect of my reading experience, and I think the writing style is exactly what I want in life. Also, if you want to see a reading vlog out of any of these books that I'm going to show you that I haven't read yet, comment it in the comments, because I would like to know if I need to make a reading vlog. Next book that I want to talk about is Powerless, the third book in the Chestnut Springs series. The fourth book is coming out. I'm not even sure when, but I'm very excited for it to come out. I'm not even sure which characters it's about. Oh yeah, it's about Winter, the sister of the first book's main character, which was Summer. Like, very cliche, Summer and Winter. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about Powerless. This one was my least favorite book in the series by far. Like, for serious, for real, least favorite book. I think I gave it 3.5 stars or 3.75 stars. Because honestly, I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't really like the love interest. And I do not even remember his name right now. No, I do not. I really, literally cannot. It doesn't pop up in my head what the main character's, the love interest's name is. So it's like there's a little bit of hockey going on. The love interest or the main character plays hockey, but I wouldn't say this is like a hockey romance. Like, it is a romance. It's a small time romance, but I wouldn't say it's a hockey romance per se because they do not talk a lot about hockey in particular, like they do in The Deal. Because The Deal by Elle Kennedy is like a hockey romance, like full on fucking hockey romance. But this is just a little lighter on the hockey, a little lighter on the sports, and more focused on the romance between these two characters. So yeah, it's also Friends to Lovers, so that's good. Sometimes I enjoy Friends to Lovers. Not all of the time, but sometimes I can really enjoy Friends to Lovers. And in this case, it just didn't hit the spot for me, but it was fine enough. Never mind, I gave Powerless 3.5 stars, so lower than I initially thought that I rated it. And honestly, it's deserved. This book felt like a fever dream to me. I skipped over the whole entire conflict. Yeah. I'm also scared of this book. Like, why do I always buy chunky books? Like, that is a question that I need to ask myself, that I need to stand in front of. That is a question that I need to confront. Because I do not know why. The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is over 500 pages. Whoa. Over 500 pages. And over 400 pages is already a pretty long book for me. But over 500 pages is chunky. Chunker. This is a chunker of a book in my opinion, okay? Like, I enjoy books that are around 380 pages. Like, I can read books that are 380 pages. Or 350. I'm even happier when it's shorter. But not under 200. Not above 500. So why do I always buy books that are this long? I'm not sure. This is like a kind of a dark academia book. It sounded very interesting to me, and it's very popular too. But I haven't bought this before because I was skeptical of this book because I heard bad reviews, but then I heard good reviews too. So I wasn't sure if I should buy this book, but I finally made the decision to actually buy the book anyways because I wanted to know what the hype was about. Now we got a book that I already read, so no reading vlog for this one, sadly. It's Radiant Sin by Katie Roberts, and I enjoyed this one so much. Gave it 4 stars, which I did not anticipate because a lot of reviews said that this was bland, that this was boring, nothing really happened, but I disagree with that because I think a lot happened. This has a great plot with great romance too. It's about Cassandra and Apollo, and they have a romance going on. It's a boss and colleague situation going on. It's all very interesting, but Cassandra wants to leave town and Apollo doesn't want her to leave town, but he is like accepting that she is going to leave town, that she's going to skip town. So he has accepted the situation. But then there's also really good smut in this, but I disagree with all the people saying this was the worst book in the series because I think not any of the books in the series are bad. But my least favorite of the series was the 3rd one, which was Wicked Beauty, which I didn't really enjoy. Wasn't my cup of tea. Too much smut, like, not my thing. So I really enjoyed this. This was like there were games involved that didn't really make sense. Some things didn't connect at the end, so that is why it's a 4-star read. But really enjoyed this nonetheless. Also a book that I already read is Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is the first book in the Plated Prisoner series, and holy fucking moly, did I enjoy this. This was so dang good. I'm not even kidding. I gave 4.25 stars of 4.25 stars because I really enjoyed it. Would check trigger warnings. Always check trigger warnings. That is something I always recommend. Always check trigger warnings for the books that you're going to read because that is a very important thing to learn. Because sometimes I don't check trigger warnings and then out of the sudden I get triggered by something. So, check trigger warnings. This is about King Midas, and King Midas has turned his precious, his favorite, into gold. But she's not solid gold. She can move and stuff. She can, her hair is just gold. Her whole body is gold. She's just made out of gold, but not solid gold. So, it's very interesting. Like, this book doesn't have a lot of plot. It's just a lot of world building, a lot of, characters. Like, we meet a lot of characters, we get a lot of world building, and I actually enjoyed the introduction into the world because that means I can understand better if I had just gotten right into the story, if you know what I mean. This was a very good book. I really enjoyed it. Next up, we have one I'm currently reading and really enjoying. I'm expecting this to be 4.5-star read, which is very high for me. It's Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. So this is, also check trigger warnings because this is also pretty heavy. I had some moments where I wanted to cry, where I was like, ooh, this is getting a little bit heavy for me. But I pushed through and I'm very glad that I did because this is a very good book. This is a romance, but it has some elements of suicide, of grief in it. So I can tell you a little about the story. So Charlotte, our main character, goes up to this roof on Valentine's Day, on her birthday, on her 14th birthday, because she's done with living. So she goes there to end it all. But she meets Kellen there, who also wants to end it all. So they make a pact to, you know, survive for each other, to live with each other, and to live for each other, basically, and meet each other on the next Valentine's Day, on the next Valentine's Day, and on the next Valentine's Day until they both turn 18. So, what happens then? One of them doesn't reach the next Valentine's Day, the 17th Valentine's Day, because, yeah. So, my first love ended in tragedy. My second began with his brother. So now, years later, she meets his brother. There's fun in this book. It's good. It also has a lot of plot. I would really recommend this book. I really like when a story can be mixed with a serious subject. It can also have like a light aspect of it, like smut and stuff. So I really enjoyed that, and still am enjoying that about this book. Now I'm going to show you some ebooks that I got because I also paid for these, obviously. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was Magnolia Parks, the first book in the Magnolia Parks universe. So I'm not sure if I will actually like this because the relationship in this is supposed to be very, very toxic, and I don't typically really like toxic books in particular because that is just not my cup of tea. But since this is very popular, very well talked about, was that my bus? My taxi? Okay, so it's very well talked about. So I was like, you know what? Let's just try it out. If it's not something that I enjoy, I can just stop reading it because it only cost me €3, and I would rather have a book cost me €3 and then I DNF it than a paperback cost me €16 and then DNF it, because that is €13 difference. So I hope I'm gonna enjoy this book, honestly, but I'm not sure I will. But I just wanted to test it out, Next book is Losers by Harley LaRue. I am actually in the middle of this. I'm now 44% in it, and I started it this morning. So yeah, needless to say, it is a pretty good book. This is about Jessica, and it follows 2 years after the events of The Dare, which is like a prequel story to this series, which consists out of 2 books, Losers Part 1 and Losers Part 2. So I am really enjoying this book, actually. Like, it is a very good story. I am really enjoying it. There is a lot of smut, obviously, because it's Harley LaRue. Like, what else did you expect? But I would definitely recommend this book. I wouldn't recommend The Dare, though. Like, you can read it just to get to know these characters, get to know Jessica, our main character, and the other guys. But some scenes in The Dare were kind of odd, kind of not my thing, not my cup of tea, which a lot of people can agree with. So you can just skip The Dare if you want, but that's not for me to say. The last ebook that I got was Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I'm just reminding this. I'm picking this up out of the top of my head, and I'm doing it right this time. So this is about a girl who has half a soul because she got cursed or something like that, and now she cannot feel embarrassment. So that makes for some awkward situations, but obviously she cannot feel the embarrassment of the awkward situations. So she does some unhinged things that are not acceptable in society's eyes. It's also historical, and it has some romance, and I'm not sure how the romance will go. I know that this is a series, so I think the romance will develop over the series, over the time span of a few books. So I am just excited to read this because I wanted it for a while now. Next one is we have 3 books left. So next one is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. I wanted this book for a while now, and that was all because I saw it on YouTube, on BookTube in particular. I was like, I need this book. It sounds very interesting. Like, Carrie can explain the plot of this very, very well, and that convinced me to buy this book. Haven't read it yet, but I will soon enough. It just sounds so interesting. It's about a girl. She has an evil spirit living in her head, but she's not allowed to have that evil spirit living in her head because she's not allowed to have magic. So that makes for an awkward situation, right? But now she's hidden. She is somewhere where no one can find her, and the story continues from there, I think. So that is all I know right now. But I will know more when I get into this book. This is a romance by Tessa Bailey, actually. It's her newest release. It's Secretly Yours. And I got this book, checked the ratings, checked reviews, and I was like, oh shit, this doesn't have good reviews, not good ratings. So I was a little bit disappointed in the ratings. Like, I'm not convinced that this is going to be a bad book. I'm just kind of convinced that this is not going to be the perfect book. This is not going to be like It Happened One Summer, I think. I think this will be kind of more low-key, kind of more cringy, kind of more like a cliche book. But that is not something bad, because I can enjoy a good cliche. But that is what I'm expecting out of this book. But it looks very cool. I'm just excited for this book, you know. I'm not even sure what it's about, but I heard it's Tessa Bailey, so I was like, let's get it. Because Tessa Bailey is queen, obviously. Yeah, I just wanted to get it. The last one is When I Got Out of the Thrift Store, which I was surprised to find this book, honestly, because I wanted to read a book by this author for a while now, but not this book in particular. I wanted to read one book by this author that they didn't have. So it's Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I mispronounce it. So I wanted to read The Beautiful Ones, but I saw this one and I was like, I'm not going to take this for granted. I'm just going to buy this book because it was only 95 cents. So I bought it and I got it and now I'm going to read it, I guess. This is like, if I'm correct, right? This is like a historical book. Historical horror. Like, I feel like this is gonna have like mafia vibes to it. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like it's gonna have mafia vibes to it. So her most popular book by this author is Mexican Gothic. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but I have heard of it. But I wanted to read one of her least popular books, and it was The Beautiful Ones, actually. So, but I didn't get that one. I still need to get that one though, so I'm gonna get that one soon. That was actually the last book. Those were all the books that I wanted to show to you, that I wanted to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can leave me some comments on this video. If you want to see some reading vlogs of any of these books, just comment down below and I'll just maybe make a reading vlog out of it and out of any of these books. So I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're gonna watch more of me. Hope you're gonna enjoy watching more of me. And I guess all I have to say for now is goodbye and see you later. So bye bye.